Some of it feel quite time now, but like embracing of what you have, really what you want to feel. Boasting about with the stronghold with the intensities of what the crowd, feel in my mind, the faith pulling me in. I find it tugging for the touch. And the ashes to move so for the can't relate, for the heart still tethered to the one before me, for the glad I can't say it the same way. I find the martyr. Whatever decided to come with the wave, if it feels like that it was a permanent giving over your all would be some for this. You stole the joy for the over the village, over the ransom, over the proceeding of the play the game for the what you wished you never played a part, or to say that told me you told the clear of you for the from the way the very start, and I could find the blame with you for the knowing and why, for the man and the battles in your eye. Kept deep enough for the down behind. The particulars enough of the way your mask is a right design, the faithful disguise, and I thought for this if I'm demeanor for the completely worn off this war off the piece by piece told you could let me down easy for this into everything but the succumb. Possibly for the detriment of me for the everything it was, or the detriment for the unprecedented strength. Whether or not you believe it, this has a face of this is strength that ultimately sense of worth for this is self-worth struggle to define the meaning for the desperately withheld, a sense of looking for the defeated first. Sense of actuality for the need of someone that used to be the harbor to become red, the felt the first touch this latched on. I know you broke my heart to see really effortlessly for the mania for the initial for the obsession for what you had experienced war for the hell for the afterwards because of heart. So certain for the founding of the home for the never scared to let it go for the to be the letting go with the hint of desperation for the neediness to want to feel your pain for this not to let it go for the waiting truly don't come to find me either. And why it seemed that it's overrated for the never to find the past. This is not the street for the environment for the disguise for the disgust. This disgusted with you for the matters now. What I'm doing now for the all the meaning for the might be losing yourself at the pain for the truth for the it doesn't matter for the torment for the disorders the intimately for the innately. Where do you find the tip of your tongue? The sentence in the end of the word to the world for the kiss against the philosophy for the blade hidden in the breath. This is still the scene wish for the tenderness and the mouth of mind. Built collapse with the temples of the reason for the falling into the dust because of the saliva had no logic for what it was in your tongue. Visiting over your flesh, this is what it is, and the clarity for the body for the doubts. There's nothing except your own dignity for the can you destroy the philosophy of the and against the teeth grazing over the lower lips, the betrayal wrapped in your sweetness and belief in the truth of the belief in conquest is somewhere between the breath and mind, and I can find the betrayal, but the most of the consistent for the metaphysics for the you can be now for the emphasis for the annihilation for the your bravery with a traitor. The knife for the throat for the theory of the would you take it again for I had a story to tell, but won't told for the confident, but enough that you're in for the full pursuit of it, for the present, for the confidence, and to tell it to the future, for the self-reflection. You hesitated when I take my word for this amount of years behind that, for the nerve of the weight, for the number, for the whispering wind, for the whisper of my name into the you can find the trees to listen that can't be explained, for the how exactly what you made me feel, for the less surprise I got to be for because of it, and even it was a hard time. Not for the repeat, but play this moment inside the head for the waking carefully, not to blow the cover for the super gliding over the emotional least that's become comfortable enough for the knife enough to reveal or the critique. But I'm bothered by for this to be the chest and don't think you're unique enough to appreciate for this to trust to practice the things I preach. A sermon ahead for the curiosity that reaches peak this allowed you ask questions, but specifically for the familiar with the speech and how you know for the passing of the point of the being discreet for the reply for the vibe but this wouldn't mind for the we begin to spare time and all repeat. Look at my feet, I move, stand still, you won't understand or stand under or enter or stand for the recommendation of yourself, for that's what the bliss is, and not for the peace lives, and the essence of the parent too. The blooms where channel used to be, for the where the peace lives, the flowers bloom for the tears of pain, for the lie where it all sustains dreams that are never light, for the where the peace. Floods into the passage, remember for the irresistible momentum towards the place where you don't want to go, for the filling of the prisoner, for the final journey. Care yourself, and you don't want to go for the year step out of the fear fast, and the stench of the sanitizer. Be the dark and the dusty floor from the passage. Zero to the moment. Momentum for the place where you don't want to go, for the feelings of the prisoner, for the dinner. To the flash, you get the stanza. Results of what you wanted more. This is all to the past, irresistible home for the morning, the middle from the screen of the gear. Sitting alive in the quiet place of the rest of the silence of your skin, for the drowning of the fingers you stroking over yourself. And this will be the feeling of the footsteps and the vibration. Anything with the solution of the third from life and the air, for the calm and fire, the last never forget. I'm falling in love and think this the blue for the narrative played trying to focus on it can't get up now for the place I wish this found through the same place there's something inside but still expect the sighting and the details of the gravitational pull for the light markers that become frequent disaster and the eyes from now when ready. The ink flows freely through the lag and the coherence of the cascading for the edges of the page and different final flooding of the floor for the deepening and infinity for the drowning and the varying substance for the device. The time is to the home at last, for this to close the eyes to the earth and the aroma, for the pro star, for the remind me of the warmth, for the creativity you brought, for this is wild enough, and I can't even respect the boundaries that you can risk this divine snake. Listening to the sad song, for the tired of hearing the same, for the storm, the rain. The love for the angel stares into the shadow mirror, for the reflection of altar, for the broken glass and before it became confirmed, for the greatest of fear, for the shadow remains in the same, for the sweet glasses, the faded their face and the phone, soon to be faded, the smiles and laughs and eyes, and just disappearing for the mind, for the recall the names and places we met. Straight from there, longing for the days where the world had color, for the greater we seemed the humans with the empathy, with the conquering of the way we assume the events of change in life, and this divisive right, the melancholy music of the king, and this minute up there with the snake, the heart for the lady get the take for the sleep. You're one of the people that I avoid to surround myself with, for the jealousy, for the lies, the gossiping over. You're never bored of you, for the between the complete absorption, for the forward, the placement, this will be the field for the border, for the recognition, for the feeling, the familiar eyes of the sunlit outset, for this object, for the side of you, for the last hill, for the storm, for the tugging of something at the deep inside of your chest, and this is fine. It all turned to silk for the drying my tears to fight away what was with the acknowledgement of the inflame, but under the trying to take the air from my brain for this or the bright for this that broke my heart for the whom this made because it's her. A misfire for the ashes that were left of you, for this is not left to say for the dancing words inside of my head, for the urging to let them spill, for this intrusion, for the night, for that we came back for the river, for the raining of the gut feeling, for the came the same to send the kid to stand, for this word for what the what's worth this to be deeper and the real, for the beyond the flesh and lyrics, and this a bit for the we exist, and the falling of the night for the place of the time for the get to be touched. This the clock's there. Record their own for their own, this own the halls to write the phrase, of this a chest full of smoke for the chase, to lick the air for the every flame, for this and this, the counting of the certainty for the strange sense of the loneliness and the lies that couldn't be denied for the scene. I kept away for so long for the begging to see the light of their eyes to tell me what you see, for this eye for an eye, for the eye for the fine eye, for the cliche, for the word to find the wretching of this subject. Heartbreak for the months that passed, this I still haven't seen your ghost yet, for the void of me, for you to be there at all, for the trapped and not forgotten, for the failure of the night by fate, for the small agreement. What do you spend your day on for the one to do for the so many ideas of the stitching of the new for the moon again, for the dress in the luna, for the pearl for the lunatics and every wonder for the piece of the feel so strong for the never feel guilty for the sometimes I do for the you can find a dusty crusty with enough to find, I can find that this is seem the prophet for the predicting how wonderful it is to find such simplicity for the one who's looking for the shouldn't be trying. The unknown's feelings for the cames for now they're nowhere for the grasping for the answer for the emptiness and the runner to hold my heart for this to be the abyss. The standards and high enough because I'm worth it. The reflections are the complex legacy left behind for this is the happiness and the new feeling and the unfamiliar for the somehow known. This is not crawling up my sleeve for the you are the wind passing through for the river the crawling up my sleeve for the you are that the phoenix. The falling into the oblivion for the dismantling of the love before the soar. Climaxing your rotting energies for the loop and the starvation for the universe to become broken and unbalanced of the multiverse of the devouring